Maybe 5 miles that day, and it was day 6 of our journey. I pulled out the map and saw we'd come 52 of the 210 miles I was estimating. That was right at a quarter of the way. The best day of traveling had seen us do 13 miles. That was nowhere near the 20 miles a day we needed to average to have enough food to get here without resupply. We had to supplement our food somehow, and we needed to find a way to make better time. I decided to talk with everyone in the morning. I also decided to start keeping a little journal about our trip. Mike reached into his shirt pocket and pulled out a small notebook encased in a plastic bag. On the inside cover, I wrote your name and address and a note to whoever found it to please make sure you got this just in case, he said as he looked Mark right in the eyes. Mark could see the faintest hint of a tear in his older brother's eyes. Boy, am I glad I got to bring it myself. The arrival of the biscuits interrupted what was becoming an emotional moment. They were followed closely behind by a big bowl with more scrambled eggs. All of the food quickly made its way onto plates. Mark looked around the table. The smaller children were each eating a biscuit, and even the baby had one clutched in each of her tiny fists. This gave Monica a chance to concentrate on her own plate. Mark's sister had always been thin except for when she was pregnant, but she almost looked anorexic now. She dug into the heap of eggs on her plate, and Mark hoped she'd look better in a few days. He wondered how much of her food she'd given to her children on the trip. Anyway, Mike continued, we talked about it in the morning and decided that, except for the little ones, we'd only eat half an MRE each day. That gave us another 12 days worth. We had our rifles, and we decided we'd take whatever game we could find along the way to help stretch our food. We continued on around Temple and pushed hard that day. Even so, we only made about 7 miles. Mike flipped open his small journal and flipped through the pages. I almost have the whole thing memorized. I've read through it so many times. The next day we hit our first big problem. In fact, what I'd thought before this point was bad luck turned out to be nothing. We hadn't crossed a creek or stream in a couple days, and we were almost out of water. My map showed all the bigger creeks that weren't seasonal, but there were none close to us. The next running water on our current course was still at least a day away. We found a farm pond and took water from it. Jeff said it was always best to get water from a running source in the sun, but we didn't see any choice. We filtered enough water for everyone and filled up all the containers. I figured the filter would take out anything harmful, but there was some bug in the water the filter didn't get. Jeff had the package for the filter, and it said it would remove 99.9% of harmful bacteria. That's why I figured we'd be okay. But I guess that 0.1% can really get you. By lunchtime, we were all sick. Everyone had diarrhea and stomach cramps. We knew it was the water. In hindsight, we shouldn't have let the little ones drink it until we knew it was good. In fact, we shouldn't have let anyone drink it until one of us had tested it. At least then, only one of us would have been sick. We had a real dilemma then. A diuretic dilemma. We needed to drink a lot of water to keep from getting dehydrated from the diarrhea, but the only water we had was contaminated. We only had 2 choices. We could go find some good water, or we could try to clean up the water we had. We decided to do both.